over 200 countries have entered World Cup qualifying at some point in history. Only 84 have ever reached the tournament. And after 23 World Cups, only 8 have ever been crowned champions. That's a 90% failure rate for every team that ever made it to the finals. African nation, Asian nation, teams from North America. In 96 years, only few have ever touched this trophy. And right now, as the 2026 World Cup rewrites the record books in front of us, Messi just became the oldest hat-trick scorer in World Cup history at the age of 38. One question matters more than ever. Who are the true kings of football? Let's count them down from the newest name on the list to the greatest football empire the world has ever seen. At number 8, we have England. The birthplace of football waited 36 years before winning it. 1966, Wembley, extra time against West Germany, 4-2. Jeff Hurst became the first ever to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final, a record that stood alone for 56 years until Mbappe matched it in 2022 and still lost. England has never been back to a final since. One trophy, one team, unrepeatable night. At number 7, we have Spain, the team that stopped trying to score and decided to just never let go of the ball. One World Cup, 2010, South Africa, in its just extra time strike, beat the Netherlands 1-0. They were the first European team to win a World Cup on a different continent. One trophy, but they changed how the entire sport is coached. At number 6, Uruguay. Population 3.5 million. World Cups 2. Do the math. Uruguay won the very first World Cup in 1930 on home soil. Then in 1950, they walked into Brazil's Maracanã, nearly 200,000 fans expecting a coronation, and beat the host 2-1. Brazil still calls it Maracanazo, a national day of mourning. Uruguay's badge carries 4 stars, not 2. FIFA also recognizes their 1924 and 1928 Olympic titles, the only nation on earth with that honor. At number 5, France. Waited 68 years for their first star, then built a machine. 1998, home soil, and Zidane scored twice in a 3-0 demolitions of Brazil. 2018, Russia, 4-2 over Croatia, when 19-year-old Mbappe became the youngest World Cup final scorer since Pelé. Then in 2022, even in defeat, Mbappe scored a hat-trick in the final, making him right now the all-time top scorer in the World Cup final history, ahead of Pelé and Zidane. Number 4, Argentina, where football isn't a sport, it's an identity. 1978 at home, 1986 carried by Maradona. Then 36 years of waiting, until Messi, at 35, finally got the one trophy in 2022 final, still called the greatest ever played, 3-3 won on penalties. 6 World Cup finals, 2 of football's greatest icons ever, born from the same country. At number 3, Italy. They didn't play the prettiest football, they just knew how to win. Back-to-back titles in 1934 and 1938. The first team ever to repeat as champions. 1982 with Paolo Rossi. 2006, a penalty shootout over France. Their defensive system, Catenaccio, became a global blueprint for winning ugly. At number 2, Germany. The most consistent nation in World Cup history. 1954's Miracle of Bern, 1974, 1990, then 2014. The year they didn't just win the final, they dismantled Brazil 7-1 in the semi on Brazilian soil, in what's still one of the most shocking scorelines in sports history. Germany has reached more World Cup finals than any other nation on earth, 8. And at number 1, we have Brazil. For everyone else, football is a sport. For Brazil, it's a dance. A teenage Pelé wins it in 1958. Brazil defends it in 1962. In 1970, they field what's still argued to be the greatest football team ever assembled. 2 more stars followed in 1994 and 2002. Brazil is the only nation to have played in every single World Cup ever held. Not a single missed tournament. Not one gap. 8 nations have ever lifted this trophy. Only one can be the greatest. Tell us in comments, who is the greatest World Cup nation of all time? Who do you think will win this time? For more exciting information, please subscribe. Thank you for listening.